Black Friday, Cyber Monday is right around the corner, so in this video I'll show you how to make more money with your Klaviyo account by implementing 7 quick wins. The whole thing is gonna take you less than 15 minutes, so again, they're gonna be super quick wins. The first thing you want to do is set up Black Friday, Cyber Monday pop-up. And even though your Black Friday offer will be everywhere, you should still run a Black Friday, Cyber Monday pop-up. It's the best way to capitalize on all of the traffic you'll get during that period, and it will also help you build your email list faster and convert more people. It's as simple as updating your current pop-up and changing up the wording just a little bit. So what you would do is you would go to your Klaviyo, sign up forms, take your current pop-up, just simply clone it, type in, BFCM 2025 pop-up or whatever. Then you want to hit continue. It's going to take a while to create the second version. Then just go to this pop-up. And like I said, it's super simple updating your current offer and wording. So instead of like, hey, want 10% of your order, you would say want, let's say your Black Friday offer is 30% off site-wide, want 30% of your first order. And obviously, you would make it so that the font color and everything else is the same, but this is pretty much it. And then you just update the copy everywhere. If you want, you can also update the design a little bit. So for example, you would make it maybe the background would be, instead of being white, it would be black, right? So you'd make it black, for example, and then the whole copy would be white or whatever. You could really play with this to make it pop up a little bit more, like, give it this Black Friday, Cyber Monday vibe, but it's not necessary. You can just run like this. If you really want to, you can even add one more text block, and then let's see the font we use. So it's gonna be Poppins. So yeah, the same font, you would make it Poppins, and then for example, it will be you would make it like BFCM 2025 special, right? Then you would center all of that, and then you would make the font obviously way bigger. But then again, you don't really need to have a custom pop-up per se. You can just run with your current pop-up, which is completely fine. Maybe even just like Black Friday or like Black Friday deal, right? Something like that. And again, you can play with the font or whatever to fit all of this into like one line. But yeah, this is what you would do. So again, super low hanging fruit. Just clone your existing welcome flow, sorry, your pop-up, and then make sure you update the offer so it reflects your Black Friday Cyber Monday offer. Now, once you have the pop-up, what you need to do is create Black Friday Cyber Monday flows. Because with your pop-up, you need this live. So ideally, you would have a custom welcome flow, abandoned cart, and checkout, where all of these would have like a new messaging, be more bold, focused on the offer, and so on. But on the other hand, you can just implement the 80-20 rule, and you would do pretty much the same thing you've done with your sign-up forms. So you would go to your flows, you would take your existing welcome flow or any other flow for this matter. It could be abandoned cart, checkout, or whatever. Let's type in welcome, right? In this case, we could just do a simple, clone, and then you would call it your BFCM 2025. You would enter the offer. Let's say it's gonna be 30% sidewide, 30% of sidewide, and then you would just clone it. You would continue, and you would do it for all of your pretty much flows. So it could be abandoned cart, checkout, welcome flow. Just update the discount. Let's say you're running 10% off regularly. You would just update it to be like 30% off, and then update the code, and that's it. Because then again, it's super simple. You just go in and you probably just update the code, and that's really it. Don't need to overcomplicate it. Again, ideally you would have custom flows, but then again, the lowest hanging fruit is updating your current flows with the Black Friday Cyber Monday offer, so you convert more people through the welcome flow and you recover more cards and checkout. Because if the sale is running on the sidewide anyways, I mean, if this sells side what running on the whole side, you are still able to like give them the 30% off information in all of the emails, and you are not sacrificing the margin because this deal is auto applied anyways, so you're not losing anything. Another thing you want to do is use Shopify's added to cart metric. First things first is that abandoned cart isn't the same thing as abandoned checkout flow. These are two completely separate flows. The difference is huge because having the second one, which is the abandoned cart, can double your card recovery. Previously, you would need to install the added to cart metric manually. This is also, my probably top viewed video where I walk you through the instructions on how to do it. But now Klaviyo does it for you. You just need to make sure that you have updated the integration and, pretty much everything is right and, turned on. This is very important because the Shopify metric triggers and registers more events than the manually installed one. So when the Shopify is added to cart metric, came live, I was still running the manually installed one for most of our accounts because it was still collecting more and more information. But after like 2 or 3 months, the script flipped, and right now Shopify's added to cart metric is just collecting so many more events that sometimes it's like 2x more events than the manually installed one. So this is why you want to do it. And again, the way you would do it is super simple. You would go to integrations in your Klaviyo, then Shopify, and then there should be like a blue box saying get started or whatever. If you don't have it turned on, again, like this is my demo store, so it's like it failed the authentication for whatever reason. But you would click on get started, which would be like a blue box, and then you'd be able to see both of these events after you go to to analytics and then metrics. You would should be able to see added to cart metric, which we can't do right now, but let me just very quickly switch to another account just to show you. All right, so this is the actual live account, and again, you would just go to Shopify, you just go down a little bit, and then you click on get started, right over there, and then you should be able to go to analytics, go to metrics, and type in added to cart. You can see we have both metrics, but this one is just working so much better. So make sure you have the one with Shopify icon. Now, another thing you want to do is install a third-party tracking tool like Aimers, LFR, or even Polar, right? And even though Shopify's tracking is fairly decent, it still doesn't collect all of the events. This is why there are third-party tracking tools like Aimers, LFR, or Polar that can improve your tracking. They can help you with meta tracking too, but you can just set up separate flows triggered based on their events and just recover more browses, cards, and checkouts. Here's a simple screenshot of the one of the accounts we're running where we have events from Aimers, which is this website. This one is LFR, getlfr.com or polaranalytics.com. All of these are fine. I personally recommend Aimers and LFR better or like more because they have better quality events, better open rates and whatnot. But Polar is fine too. We have it on a few accounts as well, so nothing wrong with this as well. Just pick one, whichever one works best for you, and then clone your existing flows in Klaviyo, change the trigger to one of the events, coming from any of these apps. Then once you have this trigger, make sure that your dynamic, blocks are working properly. And then you also want to add filters to all of your flows. So there's no overlap between abandoned cart from Aimers, for example, and your regular abandoned cart flow. You want to have the filters so that only, every single person is getting only one flow rather than getting all to like both at once. Another thing you want to do for all of your Black Friday Cyber Monday campaigns, and you can do it for flows too, by the way, is add a simple announcement bar. Because you want all of your emails that you send to look a little bit different, because this way you can keep your content fresh and users entertained. But not everyone will scroll to the very bottom, and most brands put their Black Friday offer or information at the very bottom of the email, which is not a mistake per se, because you can easily add in like a simple block which looks very nicely. But again, knowing that not everyone will just scroll all the way through to see that there is some kind of offer, you want to have a simple announcement bar at the very top of each email. So the first thing people see is that your sale is live. And here's a simple example with pretty much the entire above default section, the entire header, where the first thing they see is Black Friday sale up to 30% off. And then you just have the email as you would have normally, because you don't, for example, if you're running Black Friday for like a week or 2 weeks, you don't want every single email to start the same way saying Black Friday sale, Black Friday sale. You want to have all of them a little bit different, and this way you'll just convert more people because you're gonna be able to cover more angles, more pain points, and just convert more people. Another thing you want to do, which is like a super quick tip, which again like a super simple win, but what you want to do is send on random hours. This one is super simple, but helps you just stand out in the inbox and avoid most competitive hours. Because let's say your best time to send emails is 6 p.m. EST. Well, that's probably hundreds of other brands that will send email at the exact same time. So if you have one recipient that is getting emails from like 10 or 20 brands, all of them are sending at 6 p.m., you're gonna just blend in, and like you won't really stand out unless you do something super crazy with the subject line, which I don't really recommend. But yeah, you probably will have a very hard time standing out. So what you want to do is send it either a little bit earlier or a little bit later. So for example, instead of sending your campaign at 6 p.m. Eastern, just send it at 5:56 p.m. or 6:06. I personally like 6:06 because people, some people are like, oh, this looks so nice. Like you have two sixes, which is not that common because again, usually people are gonna be sending at flat hour, which nothing wrong with this, but it's like a super small trick or tip you can implement. And the way you do it is super simple. You just go to your campaigns and you'll be scheduling the campaign as normally, but instead of selecting a flat hour, you would select something else. Okay, so let me maybe quit the omni-channel campaign and I'll just create like a simple one. So create campaign, single channel, whatever, don't matter the content. I just want to show you very quickly how you would do it if you want to send an email on a non-flat hour. So you select your campaign like you again normally would. I just kind of need to do it for the sake of this video. But you would have your campaign normally. You would click on send. Whatever subject line preview text. Obviously, make it better than mine currently. And then you would hit on schedule or send. Right? You would select the time for whatever. Normally, let's say you would send at 6 p.m. So let's select 6 p.m. But then you would just pretty much, and let's select Eastern maybe, and then you just select this thing, type in 6 on your keyboard, and then schedule campaign, and that's it. This is how you would do it. So again, this is super super simple to do. Now, last but not least is adding simple plain text emails, because these always work great as sale reminders, and especially during Black Friday, Cyber Monday. Mainly because like almost everyone is gonna be sending bold and design heavy emails, and people will also almost automatically just skim through these. But and also like there is nothing wrong with this, because you need these kind of emails that are super important and helpful to have. But when someone sees a plain text email, it's gonna be a little bit different, because they don't know if it's an email from a friend or for a brand from a brand unless they start reading. And if your copy is really good, which it should be, they'll get hooked from the start and read the whole thing through. And the Breeze is a great example of this, which it's a brand that does it at the very high level. They do it quite consistently. So you can go ahead, just go to mills.com, drinkbreeze.com, and you can go in and check out some of their emails. Again, all of them are super, super nice, great examples of emails. You can see dark mode, and like obviously dark mode is something wrong with this, but yeah, just you can go in, take an inspiration, see what they're doing, and add some plain text emails for you as well. You can see maybe what they've been doing for like last year or for for Halloween and whatnot. But yeah, the great brand, great example. So make sure you add some plain text emails into your strategy, and I guarantee that you'll just make more money than ever during your Black Friday, Cyber Monday weekend. Because again, you will stand out, have way more personalized messages, and you'll also have better deliverability. So that's it for this video. If you want to have more actionable tips, join my newsletter. But if not, there's gonna be a link below this video where you can have a free call with me. I'm gonna walk you through, your Klaviyo account, and I'm gonna show you how we can handle your email marketing fully done for you. We've done this for over 60 brands right now. We're currently doing it for 30 brands every single month. So we've done this one-time projects. We're also doing monthly management for campaigns. Everything done for you. So if you're looking for someone to handle your emails and have the best Q4 and then Q1 ever, link below this video. And I hope you enjoyed this. Thank you. Cheers.